Hello, and today on Cooking with Penelope, we will be making corn dog casserole, one of my favorite dishes. Unfortunately, Penelope is not in the mood to cook today, right now, so I will be proceeding without her. Now, this is a fairly simple recipe. It's something actually I created back with a few of my buddies back in college. We like corn dogs, but didn't have a fryer. And so we kind of came up with our own way after watching the Food Channel on a special of casseroles. And so we thought casseroles are easy enough, corn dogs are pretty easy enough, so we created corn dog casserole. The ingredients are fairly straightforward. We have a package of hot dogs, a can of chili, and a box of cornbread. Now with the chili, you can use canned chili, or if you want, you can make your own chili. And I do have a recipe for that too that we use on days that we actually have chili. But usually when I make the corn dog casserole, I use straight chili. You also need cheese. Those are your main ingredients. There are some side ingredients you need, which mainly is your milk and your eggs, but that's because that's what you need for the corn dog, or the cornbread. So the first thing we do is we take our hot dogs, and we cut them up. Now these you can have in various sizes on how you want to come up. You know, you don't even have to use the whole package. Once again, I typically do just because this feeds, the standard recipe usually feeds 2 people with 2 servings. And what we usually do is, you know, we still go ahead and use a full package of hot dogs, but we actually use a slightly smaller can of chili, and we still use the same amount of cornbread. But like I said, it usually feeds about 4 people, or 2 people, or 2 people with 2 servings, or 4 people in general. Once you have the hot dogs cut up, you want to take your bowl, or your whatever you call this. For some reason I can't think of it right now. This is a 7x11 glass pan. Usually I use an 8x8, but since I'm making this slightly more with the chili wise, I'm using a 7x11. So once you get the hot dogs cut up, you lay them down on the first layer of your pan. You know, just spread them out, make sure they're even. Then you take your chili and dump it out as your second layer. And the type of chili you get can vary. You know, you can get the ones with no beans, with beans. I've used the Campbell Firehouse chili before, the Campbell Chunky Firehouse chili. That was really good. You basically can use any kind of chili that you want. So if you're in a mood for a hotter chili, you can use that. Now once you get the chili out, kind of spread that around evenly, making it nice. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You kind of want to get all of it covered. You know, you can even mix the chili and the hot dogs together first before you even put them in. I've done that. This recipe, like I said, is fairly simple, so it's easy enough to try with different varieties. Now at this point, you can do a few things. I don't do it, but when we originally created, we put jalapenos on this layer, sliced jalapenos. That's all great and dandy, but since my college days, undergrad days, I can no longer really tolerate that much hot food. Plus, my wife doesn't like jalapenos. So after that, we make a layer of cheese. Unfortunately, I'm out of this cheese bag, but that's okay. I have another one. That up. And once again, the cheese is your prerogative. Depends on what kind you want. Whether you want a finely shredded mozzarella or Monterey Jack and cheddar spread, which is usually what me and my wife get. But you can use Swiss. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want. No harm in that. And next, for the corn muffin. Basically, when you make the cornbread, you make it according to the box. Which, according to the box of this Jiffy, you take also 1 pack of Jiffy, a 1/3 cup of milk, and 1 whole egg. I, however, do not have eggs, so all I have is egg whites. However, you can use egg whites or any type of egg substitute. For this, though, I will actually use 3 or 6 teaspoons of egg whites, which makes up 1 whole egg. Basically, the equation is typically 2 egg whites to 1 whole egg. And I believe that is 6. So once all those are combined, stir it up. Now, if you've ever made cornbread in the past before, then you know that you will have lumps, and that is actually part of the recipe. So, once you get your cornbread all made up, just layer it on top here. Just like that. And like everything else, just kind of spread it around evenly as best as you can. Yeah, just like that. What's really great about this is it doesn't take too long to cook, because really all you have to cook is the cornbread. Everything else is already pre-cooked, so you just have to heat that stuff up, which you do when you cook the cornbread. Alrighty. Now you can, if you want, sprinkle another slight layer of cheese on top of the cornbread, but I'm not going to do that. So now let's take this over to the oven. Now when you set your temperature for your oven, you want to set it for 350. The reason I say 350, cornbread on the box says 400, but I usually cook it about 350, 50 degrees lower, and a little bit longer than normal. Also, if you're using one of these range all-in-one stoves, you need to make sure you remove whatever pan cover is covering the vent for the oven. Otherwise, you can risk damaging your cover, or if you have something else there catching the house on fire. So remember, safety, number one. Alrighty, so now we need to put casserole in the oven. Usually you want to put it on the middle shelf. If you have multiple shelves, put it on this middle rack, and you set the timer for about 30 minutes, which is about 10 minutes longer than the... I can't work my timer. It's about 10 minutes longer than what is on the box of Jiffy Pop. So, we'll see you in 30 minutes. Alrighty, now that it's done, let's get it out of the oven here. Yeah, that looks good right there. As you see, the chili has boiled up through, meaning that it's been boiling hot. Cornbread's just like golden brown, which means that's good to go. The only thing you need to check to make sure it's actually cooked all the way through. So using trusty toothpicks, stick in now, and since this isn't really deep, you don't want to go too far deep. Or if you do, you only want to really look at the top part. Because remember, everything else down there is liquid. Looks like it's done. Let me check one more in the center. Oops. I'm not satisfied. Alrighty, I say we're good to go. Alrighty, so now we see corn dog casserole is all done. Just time to eat it. And there you have it, corn dog casserole. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. But for the time being, I'm going to enjoy my dinner. Enjoy!